Tonight on Garbage Time Fantasy Football, we talk about whether you should be benching Zeke Elliott against the Rams' vaunted defense. It's time for Garbage Time. Guys, welcome into Garbage Time Fantasy Football. Tonight, Ryan is back. We are joined by Ron and myself, Joe, are running the podcast tonight. How are you doing tonight, boys?
Doing fabulous.
You guys ready for another week of football?
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
it look like this.
Got another 9 a.m. game. I love it. I love not waiting till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we just can't have more Denver Broncos games. Guys, if you hear what you like, if you like what you hear on Garbage Time Fantasy Football, make sure to like and subscribe to the show here on YouTube. You can also listen to us in audio form on Apple, Spotify, Google, Pandora, Amazon, Iheartradios, and watch us live on Twitch and Twitter. You can also leave voicemails at www.garbagetimeff.com. And if you're interested in getting a signed Miles Sanders card, Gridiron King, you can do that by liking an episode, subscribing to the channel, leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, and leaving a comment. I am the Heckling Fandom. You guys want a Miles Sanders card, right?
Yeah.
He's looked better the last few weeks.
No, I will never forget him.
Okay, misters.
Hello,
Okay.
Chris Clips. Doing good, misters. All right, guys, your boys ready to get into the news?
Chris Clips. Does that mean he's like a hair cutter? Is that it?
That might be it.
Barber?
Barber?
Maybe.
That's the more professional word for it,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Figure out how
Chris,
to
are you a barber? Let us know in the comments.
This is hard-hitting fantasy topic we need to know about right now.
It is, so let's get to some.
News updates.
All right, Marquise Hollywood Brown practiced on Thursday. Chris, apparently, it's Sua. So, yeah, no, I'm guessing Sua is probably not a barber then. Nice to see you back, Sua. Marquise Hollywood Brown practiced on Thursday.
Wait, Sua could still be a barber.
Yeah, why can't he be a barber?
Yeah, why
Because
can't he be a barber?
I feel like he was in college, if I'm not mistaken. Sua, you're in college, aren't you? Let us know in the comments.
Maybe he was in college to be a barber.
You don't go to college to be a barber.
Or he's paying for his college by being a barber.
Or he's paying for
Maybe.
his college to be a barber. You don't discredit barbers like that, Joseph.
I really, in fact, pay a lot of money to go to barbers. I go to one like every 2 weeks if you haven't noticed, Ron. I've got no hair in most episodes. Anyway, Marquise Hollywood Brown.
I obviously also take very good care of myself.
Yeah. Are we going to ever get to Marquise Hollywood Brown?
Maybe.
I guess.
All right, let's do it. His foot, it's hurt. He practiced Thursday. You're looking to see him play this Sunday?
He wait, did you say he hurt his foot in practice Thursday?
No, he's practicing on a hurt foot, but he did practice.
Oh, yeah, he got a limited practice, and I bet he plays.
All right. Brian Robinson, shot in the leg. He did practice. There is rumors that he may actually suit up this weekend. So what's your thoughts on this? Is Brian Robinson going to make it into the game?
He might. They might give him a couple carries just to get the feel of it in. I don't think they're going to go full workload with him yet.
Do you see that maybe happening in the other weeks, Ryan?
I mean, like, I could almost see him doing like one carry as like a morale booster, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Maybe on the first play of the game?
Yeah, like, I don't foresee it being anything significant.
After Antonio Gibson returns the punt.
Yeah, no kidding. Chris Sue Eclipse has a question for us. He says, will Tyreek play this week? Because I have him. I have a question. Will Tyreek play this week? Because I can't have him not. Because I have him in a league. I'm 3-1. Yeah, Tyreek should play this week. I believe it's his counterpart that is questionable, Waddle, and I still think Waddle will play too. And I mean, both are still pretty prolific wide receivers. And even though it's Bridgewater playing, I would still play both of them. It's not like the Jets defense is anything.
Tyreek was
exciting.
limited in practice today, but
He's going to play.
They'll play. I'm not afraid. They'll
Uh,
play Sua.
Tom Brady, shoulder and finger injury, but did practice Thursday. Is this going to...
You forgot one of his injuries.
Oh, his heart?
His marriage injury.
Yeah. Richie Laura says, Kirk Cousins or Trevor Lawrence this week?
What are the matchups?
What?
Let's find out.
Jags
So
at
Jaguars
Texans.
play the Texans and Vikings play the Bears. I mean, they're both solid plays.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Listen, Trevor Lawrence is going up against the Texans who, while their defense is average, their offense has been showing out the last few weeks. We saw them play pretty well against the Chargers. And I think that they could put up a pretty penny up against the Texans. So I think they'll control that game very well. The Texans will look to establish a run, and that's really all the Texans can do. So look for Lawrence to have a pretty good week. Kirk Cousins is going up against the Bears, and as Ron found out, they're not too bad of a defense. So I would go with Trevor Lawrence in this spot.
I mean, the Giants beat them. It can't be that great.
Well, your guys' games suck all around, so.
It's better than this one that's happening right now.
That's true. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I would lean Trevor Lawrence just because of, I don't have faith in the Bears defense, but I would just lean Trevor Lawrence because I think that'll be a closer game. I don't foresee them pulling away where it's possible the Vikings are just get up pretty quickly and then just start handing the ball off to Dalvin Cook.
And let's get back to Tom Brady, Ryan. I said that he had a shoulder and finger injury and he did practice Thursday, but the real question I've got for you is there any way he doesn't absolutely crush the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, regardless of those injuries?
No, he's going to crush them. Listen, he is going to go on a rampage now. He destroyed his family to prove Adam Schefter wrong. Like, he means business. He's going to play for another 20 years now. It's going to be great.
All right, what's your thoughts on Dawson Knox with the foot and hamstring injury? He remained sidelined during Thursday, and he seems to be trending downward. Is there any chance that he plays this weekend? And what do you like about the wide receivers going into the matchup this weekend?
I don't think he plays. Even if he does play, definitely I wouldn't start him. He's very touchdown dependent, and there's lots of mouths to feed. The wide receivers are all pretty good starts this week. Isaiah McKenzie, if he plays, he's going to take over that slot role and have most of the snaps from there. Gabe Davis is a big play, and Stephon Diggs is just the volume play. So
my gut is telling me we're going to see the big Gabe Davis week finally. Yee from the Heckling Fandom. Make sure to like and subscribe to the show if you haven't, and go back to the end of the episode to find out you can win an autographed Miles Sanders card.
Or wait till the end of the episode.
Ooh, yeah, because we'll bring it back up again. Trade Jefferson for Higgins and Evans and DK, or Higgins and Evans and Elijah Mitchell. What's your thoughts on this trade, Ronci?
I'm going to assume this is redraft. And if that's the case, I'm going to assume that your team isn't playing very well if you're looking to trade Jefferson. So if that's the case, then yes, I would do this trade.
Yeah. I would wonder what his other wide receivers are, but it's sounding like he has Jefferson basically only as his wide receiver. So yeah, probably if you're struggling that bad.
Yeah, if you need to mix it up here a little bit, that may be the trend to go. Another question here for the Heckling Fandom. Don Bell 318 says, pick two, Olave, McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, and Goodwin. My feeling on this is Olave and Goodwin. I think Godwin is going to have a great week against.
Who's Goodwin?
Godwin, assholes.
He actually fixed it. I was about to call him out on it, and he shocked me.
Yeah.
So
that is one of his consistent ones.
I think he's going to end up having a big week against the Atlanta Falcons this week. I think this is going to be the breakout week for him. We saw him have 12 fantasy points last week. I think he's going to get pretty good separation against those defense. And Olave has been getting separation, has been on a tear. McLaurin can't get away from corners as of late. And Johnson is going to be playing the Bills with a rookie quarterback and has not been performing that well this season anyway. So my two are Godwin and Olave. What's your thoughts, guys?
Definitely Olave. Godwin scares me because of his previous injury. He could tweak it again like he did the other week. The only good thing about McLaurin is that Jahan Dotson, it's kind of seeming like he won't play. So McLaurin might actually get more targets. But I think you have to go with Godwin. I think McLaurin is the riskier, potentially higher upside play. But I think Godwin is your safer one. So I would also say Olave and Godwin.
Okay, we'll go to 2 more comments and get back to the news here too. Chris Clip says, guys, rate my team. Quarterback, Justin Herbert, running back 1. Derrick Henry, running back 2. Saquon Barkley, wide receiver 1. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 2. Damn, man. A.J. Brown, tight end. Dawson Knox not looking good for this week. Defense, I don't know because he's probably streaming. Arizona kicker. This is a pretty solid team, man. Going forward, you should be good going forward there, Sua. I think you're going to be in good shape. He wants to say that is in a PPR
redraft. Okay.
And Adam has a question for us. He says, Gabe Davis has been a big disappointment. Gotta love having McKenzie on the bench and watch him have more points every week. Speaking of duds, is Keenan Allen going to get healthy and wake up? The answer for that is yes. They have been holding him off for a few weeks, and I think that's to make sure he comes back fully healthy. So you guys think that he plays this week?
Or you could do what you did, Joe. I mean, that's probably the better move.
Yeah, Joe. You just ship Keenan away for Marcus Mariota.
Well, I can take that from Ron and JJ, but someone else has got to be the ghost, right?
That was a nice deflection, Joe, but you can't hide the fact that that trade was made.
All right, ghost of fantasy football. All right, let's get into some more news. It is believed that Alvin Kamara should be back for this week. So is he full go for your starting lineups this week, boys?
No, he kind of has to be.
No choice, right?
Yep.
All right, and are we trusting the fact that DeAndre Swift is probably not going to be in the starting lineup for the Lions this upcoming week? It kind of seems like that's going to be the trend. They go on bye week next week, so another week of no DeAndre Swift.
You might see no DeAndre Swift and no Amon-Ra St. Brown. So it might be another Hercules week.
Yeah, it's kind of feeling like that too. Rashad Penny, shoulder injury, did not practice Wednesday. I believe their rookie is also injured. What is the Seattle backfield going to look like this coming Sunday?
Not good.
Not feeling good about it, huh?
I hope you don't have to start Rashad Penny in your dynasty league.
Shit. All right, and speaking to Aaron Rodgers Wednesday, haven't brought that name up in a while. He said he could potentially retire this upcoming offseason if his wide receivers don't develop. Is Romeo Doubs developing enough to keep him around next year?
Rodgers is a whine ass that just wants attention. This isn't news.
Yeah, no. We know what else is news, though? Dalton Schultz is back to full practice and should play this weekend. You guys ready to get into some weekly breakdowns for this upcoming game schedule?
Yeah.
All right, let's tackle the shitty Giants first, playing the Packers this week. All right, Ron, we'll throw this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
the shitty 3-1 Giants.
Yeah,
you put some respect
shitty 3-1 Giants.
You put some respect until their record actually shows them. So in like 4 weeks, then you can call them the shitty Giants.
Don't worry, the roller coaster ride down has began, and that started last Sunday.
No, it starts this Sunday.
All right, we'll throw these questions your way since this is more your game. So we'll start with the Packers question. Is Romeo Doubs or Allen Lazard the true number 1 wide receiver of the Packers for this upcoming week?
I still think it's Allen Lazard.
Got a reason why?
PPR. I think he's more trusted still. I think Romeo Doubs by the end of the year will end up being the number 1 of this offense. But right now, I think it's still Allen Lazard.
Okay, Ron. And for the Giants, can we play anyone outside of Saquon Barkley on your rosters this upcoming week?
No.
Wan'Dale Robinson, if he was playing?
No, not if he. Even if he plays, you don't want to start him right yet. We haven't really seen. I think he got injured in week 1, like pretty early in week 1, also. So you don't start him yet.
All right, let's move on to AJ Dillon. Is he going to score more than 10 fantasy points this week? He seems to kind of be in a lull the last 2 to 3 weeks, and not many people are talking about it.
I assume the Packers are going to get a pretty good lead in this game. So, yes, I think he does get 10 points.
Anything else that you would want to bring up about this less-than-inspiring game, Ron?
Go Giants.
All right, let's move on to the Lions and Patriots. This will go to Ryan. Oh, one more thing.
We all picked the Packers to win.
Yes, we did. So homerism does not win out there.
No, I said I was only picking them until they lost, and they already lost a game. So,
Sua says, in Saquon Barkley we trust. Trusted no injuries, recent 2, and comments. So go Giants, apparently. Go Giants. All right, Ryan. Lions and Patriots. Here's a psychotic question for you for fantasy football. Any chance Zappe is a top 12 quarterback this week going up against the 32nd defense of the Detroit Lions?
No, I don't think the Patriots are in game script for it. I think you're going to see a lot of the run game. No.
Is he streamable?
No, if you're in quarterback hell, like some of us are in Dynasty, in our Superflex Dynasty League, then maybe, but I'm going to lean towards no.
Yeah, I noticed when you're sending me offers for some of my garbage-ass quarterbacks, you're in quarterback hell in our Dynasty League. All right, next question for you. Is there any chance that Amon-Ra St. Brown returns this weekend for the Lions? And if not, where are the fantasy points going to go for the Detroit Lions this week?
I don't think he does. And I'm still thinking Williams. And then that's pretty much it. That's probably the only Lions player I'm rolling with currently. Hawkinson did have a huge game. He's probably startable. And then
I've got a lot of love for Josh Reynolds this upcoming week. I think he's a pretty good wide receiver there, and he seemed to get a lot of the targets there too. And I think the Lions have absolutely gotten crushed by injuries and are going to look to get these guys healthy after the bye week. I think the same team you saw last weekend is pretty much the same one you're going to see this upcoming weekend. Last question for this game, unless you want to bring up the receivers too, Ryan, but what will the rushing attack for the Patriots look like during this game?
It's hard to know, but Stevenson's had kind of decent weeks lately. So I'd probably feel okay starting him RB3 flats.
Any chance Mac Jones is actually the quarterback in this game? I saw reports earlier though too that he may play. I think my gut's telling me no, but let's ask the Pats fan.
I don't think so. And then in PPR leads, I think Jacoby Myers could possibly have value. He always gets the targets. So,
all right, who'd everybody have winning? I had the Lions winning.
I'm also going with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
JJ and Ryan both have the Patriots.
You got to go with the Patriots there, right, Ryan?
Hey, we took the Packers to overtime, so.
Yeah. The Lions score a lot of points, too. I think that's a good game script against you guys. And the defense is, I would say, a little above average as of this point. The system is working for the Patriots, but I think the Lions may be able to catch them this week. All right, now this is one that I think is going to be a very exciting fantasy matchup. This one was very high scoring, almost 95 points last season between the Chargers and Browns, and the Browns offense has shown out to be a little bit better this year. So let's talk about one of the weapons first. We'll throw this Ryan's way. First, will Keenan Allen return for this Sunday? And if he does, are you plugging him back into your lineup?
Yeah, I think he's going to come back, and I think he's a starter as soon as he returns.
100%. Ron, can Kareem Hunt take advantage of the middle of the field against the Chargers and be a very good fantasy asset for this week?
He's always in your flex. He's going to have big games and going to have smaller games, but you can't bench him. He's too involved.
Honestly, is there anyone in this game that we're benching?
Yeah, quite a few. I'm not starting Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm not starting Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett is obviously one, but I think Donovan Peoples-Jones actually isn't a necessarily bad fit for this game. If the Chargers get up in this game, they're going to need to throw the balls a lot. And he had 9 targets last week. He's kind of inconsistent with the targets. He's on and off. But I think this is the kind of game script where he could have a bigger game. Amari Cooper, I think, is very playable in this game. We'll see what Austin Eckler does this week. 3 bad weeks and then that explosion last weekend. So, Ryan, what do you think Austin Eckler's numbers are going to look like for this upcoming week?
It's hard to know. It was nice to see him kind of get back to what everyone was hoping for last week. 6 receptions, 50 yards. I mean, getting those receptions is kind of why he's always had his value, and that kind of hasn't happened lately. So hopefully, now that they did it last week, that kind of keeps going. And then as far as the Browns go, any interest for you guys in Njoku? He's had some decent weeks lately.
Njoku, I think, is going to be in for a fantastic week. The Chargers kind of have always historically given up points against the tight end, and he seems to be coming into his own the last few weeks. And Mr. LaPlante, JJ LaPlante, is in here saying, yeah, he appreciates Ryan honoring me with the backwards hat and glasses look. See you back next week, JJ.
I searched all the dumpsters in my community for a Devin Hester jersey, but couldn't find one, so I wasn't able to hang that in the back.
Yeah, no, we couldn't find a Bears hat either. Just no, it must have been a dumpster fire. All right, so who do we have winning for this game there, Ryan?
Chargers.
Is that Ron back there looking in the trash can for a Devin Hester jersey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it looked like he was digging through a can. So I've got the Chargers also winning this game. Do you have the list up in front of you to know who Ron had winning for this game?
No, but I could pull it up. I'm going to assume the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a clean sweep unless JJ wants to let us know who he thought was going to win too. Anything else about this game you boys would like to bring up? JJ LaPlante says Hester jerseys are all in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame of garbage. All right, Texans and Jags. So we will throw this question Ron Seymour's way since he is getting back to his seat and Ryan had to take over for him. So who will have the better fantasy numbers this upcoming weekend, Ron? Is it going to be Williams or James Robinson?
Which Williams? There's like 37 Williams.
Damian.
The one on the Lions.
Oh. Damian Williams or James Robinson? I'm going to go with Robinson.
How come?
It's got a more favorable matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The run defense of the Texans is quite lacking, and he has shown out to be the first and second down back, getting a lot of that third down work. Question, Ryan, is Travis Etienne the kind of player this week, if he doesn't perform, because it kind of feels like a game script where he could perform well, that you could potentially drop him after this week if he doesn't play well? Or are you unfortunately hanging on to him if he doesn't play well?
You're talking redraft, right?
Yes, sir. Definitely not dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'd like to instantly disagree with you. I don't think this is going to be his type of game script at all.
No.
Go ahead.
He's the pass catching back. They should have this game handled quickly, and they won't need to come back and pass the ball. He's the pass catcher. This is very much a James Robinson game script. Game scripts where ETN will be really good as the ones where they have to play from behind all game and try. You
don't think this also falls in the script where the Jags could get up quite early in this game and then maybe they try to get ETN in some work though? That's what I'm meaning by the game script.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
I don't think the Jaguars are going to get up by a significant margin.
So you think this will be a closer game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll have the lead most of the game, but I don't think it's going to be like a blowout lead.
So is this going to be another disappointing week for Travis Etienne then?
Yes. Yeah. I have no interest in him in redraft.
8 to 10 points.
You looking to trade him on the name or potentially cut him then?
I don't think you're going to trade him on the name. In redraft, if you have better options, you can cut him.
That sucks to say. All right, Ron, do we trust Brandon Cooks or Christian Moore in this game?
Christian Kirk, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Kirk. More targets. Better quarterback. Better offense.
And who do we have winning this game?
Jaguars all the way across the board.
Full ride. All right, let's get to the slaughter fest. It's going to be the Falcons and Bucs. So, Ryan, is Tyler Algier a must start in this game?
I mean, I wouldn't say a must start. Like, I think.
Ooh. Hold on, we'll skip that comment you just had there, Ryan. So, JJ LaPlante asks, apology bet. Who wants it? ETN's going to score a touchdown this week. Come on, who wants it? I do all of them.
I don't want it. I just said you.
I don't want it.
I don't know.
Everyone going to bitch.
Moving on.
Take it, Joe. You know you want to.
We'll think about it. So is Tyler Algier must start, Ryan?
I mean, I wouldn't say he's a must start. Like I'd feel fine putting him as like a flex play, but I wouldn't put him in must start category.
Okay. And when are we potentially benching Kyle Pitts for this game based on the injury, regardless of the script that he may be needed in a passing aspect, if you've got better options on your bench?
It's possible. I mean, I guess it depends on what you have on your bench. I mean, obviously he hasn't performed very well so far this season with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. Yeah.
Quinn Lunardi. How do you say that? Lunardi. Quinn Lunardi from the Heckling Fandom asked, trade Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones. Trade Jonathan Taylor for Aaron Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would.
Yeah. You can get away with that. I mean, you're filling out 2 of your roster spots. Jones has been pretty good, and Amon-Ra has been absolutely a monster when he's been healthy and on the field. I think you can get away with that kind of
Taylor hasn't performed great, and he's injured now. So,
yeah, you can do that kind of trick. And what is the Bucs wide receiver core going to look for this game, Ron Seymour? They seem to be getting a little bit healthier, and a lot of more targets are going to be going their way. So what's it look like?
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio. I think you'll see Tom Brady, continue, really targeting Evans and Godwin, and then just kind of sprinkle the targets everywhere else. I think the only wide receivers you could start are Evans and Godwin.
I agree with that. Anything else you guys would like to bring up about this game?
Keep it on Rachaad White.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
If they do get a big lead, he could come in, do mop-up duty. If for some reason the Falcons come out and surprise people, he's been heavily, I won't say heavily, but he's been getting more involved in the passing game, and he's looked very good when he's gotten in there.
Not looking at who's going to win this game comfortably, I can probably say all of us have picked the Bucs. So here's my question to you boys: do the Bucs win by more than 10 in this game? Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Tom Brady's going to prove something.
Yeah, look for him to have a top 5 fantasy QB kind of week. I think he's going to be absolutely pissed off, and he historically always plays good against the Falcons. So look for that to continue. Steelers and Bills. Ron, is everyone except Najee Harris a bench against the Bills for the Pittsburgh Steelers this week?
No, I think you could actually still start Freiermuth, and you could take a flex risk on Pickens.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel about Pickens too. They're going to fall behind very quickly in this game. You can take the over, I think, if you're a betting kind of person too. But, they talk about garbage time, and Pickens may be the garbage time king in this, especially in the second half of these games. So Najee, unfortunately, you're going to have to play him. We don't know how he's going to do because they're going to stack the box like hell against him. So let's run the Bills aspect of this game Ryan Warner's way. With these injuries to Crowder and McKenzie being in concussion protocol, is this the week that we see Gabe Davis break out?
Yeah, it could happen. Obviously, this. What's a breakout like? Wide receiver 2? Is that what you're?
Well, it'd be nice if he at least got those numbers. So fine, tell us.
If we knew who was going to break out every week, we would never lose fantasy football.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're supposed to be able to answer these questions. That's
right.
But
the answer is yes, he definitely could break out. He's on one of the top.
Joe's thing is to back you into a corner and make you commit.
Yeah, make you be like, 150-2. That way when you're wrong, you can be like, bah!
Idiot. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but it's also possible that you see them get a pretty big lead very quickly and it just goes to a run game.
Fine, Ryan. Is he going to have a solid week since you like the money in the middle?
He could. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Like it won't be. You could start him probably as a flex, and it wouldn't be super risky.
Okay. All right, so I'll throw this question to both of you guys. Can Josh Allen rush for more yards in the whole Steelers offense this upcoming week?
I mean,
I don't think he will. No.
I don't think so, but I mean, could he break off one huge run? I mean, it could happen. I don't think it will, but
Okay. All right, Dolphins and Jets. Ron, what will Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle's numbers look like with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm?
300 yards for each of them and 10 TDs. No, I think Tyreek Hill will probably be okay. Jalen Waddle, you'll probably need a big play from him for him to actually not hurt you in fantasy this week, I believe.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting there too. And the Jets have two pretty good corners too. I think if one does break out, it'll probably be Cheetah. Tyreek Hill could be in for a monstrous week. I think even with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, I think Jalen Waddle's numbers could actually be pretty low this week for the fact he's hampered on the injury, and the rookie corner's actually been pretty good with that hampered injury and the familiarity with that player against this defense that just have film on him. I think Waddle will have the lower numbers. Both are definitely still playable. I think you have to play both of them, but Tyreek's going to have the much larger numbers, I think, in this game. So, Ryan, do we trust Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson more this week playing with Zach Wilson?
it's hard. I mean, they two and three receptions, respectively. I think I'm going to lean Elijah Moore. I just think he has the better rapport with Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's more likely to go his way. So I'm leaning towards Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I agree with you here too. Actually, I recently made a trade for Elijah Moore in our main league. He was running the most routes on this team. He's got a repertoire with Zach Wilson. And we were seeing him go to Elijah Moore's direction very early in that game with the Steelers. He went to his other wide receivers later on in the game. Corey Davis played very well and has all season. Was quietly going under the radar as the number one wide receiver on that team. I don't think it'll end.
Loves Corey Davis. Loves Corey Davis.
Yeah, he does.
Zach Wilson just loves Corey Davis.
Yeah, so I think you'll see Garrett Wilson's numbers get better towards the end of the season. He's going to take a little bit of time to get that formula down there with Zach Wilson. So I think this will be a pretty good week for Elijah Moore. Ron, is Breece Hall going to be a running back one this week?
No.
Why not?
Because I think the Jets win this game. And I think they do it with getting their wide receivers the ball more.
I mean, I don't hate your answer. And that's a great answer.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he'll be fringe. I think he'll be close, but I don't think he gets there.
Okay.
This Dolphins defense is good.
It is.
I'm
very
literally
good.
only picking the Jets because Tua's not in there.
What's your thoughts on this, Ryan? Is Breece Hall running back one this week?
No, I put him in RB2 range.
I already don't like it. I'm changing to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I went the Dolphins.
You guys suck.
Even with Tua out, Brissett can, with the talent there, he's going to be.
That's not Brissett. That's Bridgewater.
Bridgewater. Is it much difference though?
Not in the way they play.
I think it's different. I mean, one of them actually played over Tua. The other one didn't.
He's got a point there.
Any interest? I'm seeing a lot of picking up Mostert in fantasy leagues. Any interest there?
Absolutely.
Yes.
He's actually getting the majority of
the roster.
He has to be on a roster. He's getting the majority of the carries there for the Miami Dolphins. And, well, the Jets' run defense did play a little bit better last week. It hasn't been great this year. So, yeah. I think
who has the better game, Joe? Breece Hall or Raheem Mostert?
Oh, it's going to be Breece Hall by a mile. Don't worry about that.
Breece Hall, if you ask Joe, Breece Hall is going to be the RB1 on the week.
No, he's going to be top 12, though, which is why that's the way I worded this question. Who do we got winning this game? I got the Jets.
Dolphins.
I just pivoted to the Dolphins. Everyone else has the Dolphins.
Because you're a piece of shit. That's all.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I tried, man. I tried for you. And then I
piece of shit. All right. Let's move on to the Bears and Vikings. So, Ron, is Khalil Herbert going to outscore Delvin Cook in this game?
No, Dalvin Cook is finally going to bring out that monster performance that we've all been waiting for.
Couldn't agree with you more. What about you, Ryan? Do you think Khalil Herbert could potentially outscore Dalvin Cook in this game?
No, I went Cook. I think there's going to be more scoring opportunities. The Bears really don't sustain drives. And I think Cook's due for a monster game. So, and what better team for it to happen to than Jiggly's Bears?
And then not to it's not a 0% chance that David Montgomery doesn't play in this week.
That's true.
He hasn't been ruled out yet. I don't think he does play, but if he's even there in any type of limited capacity, it's just going to ruin Khalil Herbert.
A lot of the fantasy football doctors that speak about injuries online are saying the injuries that he got are more of a few weeks as opposed to day-to-day like the coaches are alluding to. So I'm not looking for him to play this game. But, the Bears have done some weird shit like not passing the ball this year. So why not play an injured running back? Let's see what they'll do. Speaking of not passing the ball, Darnell Mooney somehow had a decent game last week. So, Ron, you saw how he played last week. So are we going to play Darnell Mooney in our lineups this week?
You shouldn't.
I don't think you should either.
He had 4 catches for, I think it was like 80-something yards, and like 50 of them came off of 1 catch. I know that can happen in any given week, but I'm not going to chase low volume, high yardage people like that. Not off of 1 week after what we've already seen from this Bears offense being just horrible. This Bears offense got outplayed by the Giants offense, which is the worst.
What's your thoughts, Ryan? You playing him this week?
No, like Ron said, it was super low volume. It was just one big play. You'd have to see that for a couple weeks in a row to feel confident doing it.
Is this a monster Justin Jefferson game, boys?
I wouldn't say monster, but
I think he's gonna be solid. But
yeah, he'll be solid. I'm gonna say around like 90-ish yards and a TD probably.
Okay, and we're playing most of the Vikings options here in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thielen, what about Osborne?
No. Thielen, Jefferson, Cook, Irv Smith.
Okay.
Yes, Irv Smith.
And I think across the board, we all have the Vikings winning.
Truth.
What did JJ say for this game?
Vikings.
Okay. Next game, Titans and Commanders. I think this could be the kind of game that could be a very good bounce back game for Carson Wentz. So given my opinion on that, Ryan, what's your thoughts about this? Is this a rebound game for Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I think it is. Obviously coming off a rough 2 weeks against pretty good defenses. I think he bounces back this week, and you'll probably see numbers closer to what he put up at the start of the season. If you're going to start Carson Wentz during fantasy, I think it's going to have to be very matchup dependent. Any team that has a strong line, you're going to have to bench him because once he starts getting hit, it's over.
All right, Ron. With the injury to Dotson this week, do we prefer Curtis Samuel or McLaurin?
Curtis Samuel. I think McLaurin has a better week this week than he has been having, but Curtis Samuel's that PPR machine. If you're in PPR, it's Curtis Samuel.
Would you know that Allen Robinson has been getting more separation than McLaurin on all of his routes?
Well, I mean, the difference is, McLaurin, doesn't have Cooper Kupp on the other side.
That helps.
And
Wentz at least knows that McLaurin's on the team.
Yeah,
at
least Wentz knows. Like,
I still don't know if Stafford
the only time when Matt Stafford looks at Allen Robinson is when him and Cooper Kupp are lined up on the same side of the field.
When they cross paths during their routes.
Yeah. He's just watching Robinson. All right, do that pick and rub play there. Yep, perfect. Cooper Kupp.
He's gonna have to start stealing Kupp's targets. Like just run in front of him and take
run the same route as Cooper Kupp. No, that was just Allen Robinson just taking that ball. Okay.
All right, Ron. Outside of Derrick Henry, are we putting any of the Titans players on our rosters this week? Anyone else playable?
You could probably flex Robert Woods, but
I think he's a good flex.
if you don't have to, I wouldn't do it.
I mean, you can have a 12 or 13 point kind of week, which is pretty solid for a wide receiver 3.
Yeah, but if you have someone that has more upside than him, I would put him in.
Give us an example. Who? Maybe a Curtis Samuel?
I would definitely play Curtis Samuel over. Yeah, 100% Curtis Samuel. I'd rather play Isaiah McKenzie if he's playing over Robert Woods, just because, again, the upside I think is way more. Hunter Renfro or Matt Collins, depending on which one is playing.
Gross.
I would play them over Robert Woods. Not that I hate Robert Woods. He's a very safe floor play, but I don't think he's got any true upside, which now he'll probably go out and, put up 30 points because I said all that.
Robert Woods or George Pickens?
George Pickens. Wow, I really don't like Robert Woods, apparently.
Apparently not, especially against the Bills defense. And, boys, there is a chance we see Brian Robinson this week.
Yes, there's a chance, but I don't think it'll be enough to start him.
Okay. Seahawks versus the Saints. Geno Smith playing on an MVP level.
By the way, me and Ryan both have the Titans winning. You and JJ both have the Commanders winning. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, thank you for jumping in with that. So, is Geno Smith a much bench against a very good Saints defense? Ron Seymour.
Single QB, definitely. Hopefully, if you're in a super flex, he is your third QB and you have better options. But I think there's definitely worse options than Geno for a super flex league.
What about you, Ryan?
Same. I would be in a situation where I would be starting him with the injuries on my team, but
he desperately tried to trade for him.
Yeah, I think you could definitely do worse. I mean, you could be starting Russell Wilson or Matt Ryan right now.
Right, yeah.
Gross.
I 100% would have traded him to Ryan, but Geno is my third and only backup QB in our super flex.
So not happening.
Right.
You gotta try, right?
No, yeah, 100%.
You better hope Andy Dalton plays this week, Ryan.
And he wouldn't give me that first round pick. So.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. All right, Ryan, will Rashad Penny outscore Alvin Kamara this week?
No.
Ron? I mean, he's coming off an injury. Ooh, is this going to be the clip of the week?
No, no, not coming off an injury.
So you're saying he is going to?
No, they're both coming off an injury.
Okay. All right. Sorry, just trying to bait you there a little bit.
I know what you were doing.
All right, let's give you a little bit more of a simpler one then. Will Chris Olave be a wide receiver 1 on this week? Seems to be playing very well the last few weeks.
Yeah, against the Seahawks defense, I think so. Michael Thomas is not practicing still. I don't think he plays. I don't think Jameis Winston plays. I think this is going to be Andy Dalton. And I think Andy Dalton, even in the 1 week he played last week, has gained more trust in Chris Olave. At the end of the game, he just threw that ball up and Chris Olave went up and caught it.
He's a good player.
I think Chris Olave will finish this year as the best rookie wide receiver for fantasy for this season, at least.
Rookie of the year?
That's
God,
hard.
maybe. He could.
Very possible. He's got a hell of a ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's going to continue going forward. Any other sneaky fantasy options in this game for either team, boys?
You could chase the touchdowns from Will Disley,
Oh God,
tight end
no.
for the Seahawks, but
I can't believe I even mentioned that to you. That's gross. I don't think I would. All right, 49ers and Panthers. Ryan, Can Deebo Samuel finish as the top wide receiver on the week?
I mean, you're gonna be mad at me, but yeah, I mean, it could happen. Whether I don't know if it does, but like, sure, it's possible.
I don't think it does. I think the 49ers get a monstrous lead in this game. That defense is gonna make Baker Mayfield probably get benched by the end of the game. We might see Sam Darnold by the
He's
end
not.
of this
I don't
game.
think he's back yet from injury, is he? I don't think it would be.
They
Sam Darnold.
might wheel him out there in a wheelchair.
I just
Who currently is the backup for the Panthers?
That's
What's
what
that?
I don't know if it'd even be an improvement. Like they tried the Sam Darnold.
It
experiment,
wouldn't,
it
but
failed.
they're just going to be fearful for Baker Mayfield dying
They're
out
just
of
gonna
all
want
the
to do
times he's going to
something,
get sacked.
just do anything.
Yeah,
The wrong move
God.
is better than no move, kind of
right,
thing.
exactly.
I don't know about that. Ron, is DJ Moore absolutely unplayable with Baker Mayfield this week?
Anyone on the Panthers not named Christian McCaffrey is unplayable this week and most weeks going forward.
Is he going to be unplayable for the rest of the season?
Not for the rest of the season, but for most of the season to the point where probably shouldn't be on your roster.
That sucks because
He's-
DJ Moore
I
is
think
so
he's all
talented.
right. I think he's still flex consideration. I mean, last week 6 receptions for 60 yards. I think.
I would start Robert Woods over DJ Moore.
I'm still flexing DJ Moore. Got faith.
I've had faith for 3 years with DJ Moore,
Ryan,
and it's crushed my soul every time.
Ryan, DJ Moore or George Pickens this week?
George Pickens.
Okay. What kind of week is George Kittle in for? Not very productive up until this point. So is this the week where he gets on track?
No. Again, I think this game gets out of hand real fast, and you see a lot of rush attempts from San Francisco.
It sounds like you're very high on the San Francisco running backs in this game then.
Yeah, definitely. I am Jeff could finish as a top 5 fantasy running back this week.
Anywhere else to look for fantasy points in this game?
Obviously, you're definitely starting Debo. I wouldn't start Ayuk. I don't think the passing volume is going to be there this week. You're starting Christian McCaffrey. If you have George Kittle, you have to put him in there. And then Jeff Wilson. I think that's it.
Okay. Let's move on to the Eagles and the Cardinals. Ryan, is this another week where both Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown finish in the top 5 in their respective positions?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll go with that. It's not going to be a game. I think that they're going to get up. I think it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be high scoring. They're going to have to play all 4 quarters. So I'm going to go. Yeah.
Ron, is Miles Sanders going to be a top 5 running back in the week?
Yeah, that Cardinals defense looks bad. So yes, I do think Miles Sanders has a really good game.
All right. And Ryan, are we benching James Conner this week against this very, very tough Eagles defense?
Probably. I think the Cardinals are going to have to throw it a lot to stay in the game.
You benching him, Ron?
Yeah, if I can.
And where are the points going to come from for the Cardinals?
Zach Ertz, Hollywood Brown, probably about it. Maybe Rondale Moore.
And you can comfortably start both of these guys in this game because obviously Kyler Murray is going to have to score a shitload to stay in it. And obviously, Jalen Hurts has been great this year. Cowboys and Rams. Oh, who do we have winning this game?
We all have faults. Everyone but JJ has the Eagles. JJ
Yeah, I heard an interesting stat that the last 4 or 5 times that the Eagles have gone to visit the Cardinals, they've lost. So maybe he saw that stat too, and that's why he's going with that. Or he figures that, Kyler Murray is sick of Call of Duty this week and will start playing football again. Cowboys and Rams. Ron, is it time to ignore Noah Brown in favor of Michael Gallup?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Michael Gallup, because Michael Gallup's going to be taking all the reps. I mean, he's going to be out there more than he was last week. They're, bringing him back in. So I just don't. Noah Brown's not going to get the targets that he was getting before. So,
what's your thoughts on Michael Gallup this week, Ryan?
I think he's going to do all right. He'll get the targets. I don't see the Cowboys getting much rush game going against the Rams. So
this will lead into the next question, then, and I'll keep it with you then. And this is the question of the episode. Do we bench Ezekiel Elliott against this tough run defense?
It's hard because I feel like where you took Zeke, I don't know what else you might have. You might have to play him, but if you have something else to put in there, then I would say bench him.
What would be an example of a player that you would play over him?
I'd like Raheem Mostert was available on quite a few waiver wires. I'd play him over Zeke.
Ron, would you play him over Zeke? Raheem Mostert?
yeah, probably.
Would you play James Conner over him?
No.
I wouldn't either. All right, and is Matt Stafford going to look at anyone besides Cooper Kupp this week?
No.
Maybe that other white guy.
Tyler Higbee.
That's about it.
Yep, Tyler Higbee.
Seems like we have another comment here from the Heckley fandom. Caden, the Colts fan. I am so sorry for what you were watching tonight, Caden. Would you trade
yes.
Mike Evans for Swift?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could.
If Swift can stay healthy, he has the chance to be the running back one on the year.
Should
so
be,
if you can handle not having Mike Evans as one of your wide receivers, you trade that instantly.
Yeah, because Tom Brady, I think, is going to be spreading that ball around, especially with Godwin getting healthy again. Evans will still be, I believe, a wide receiver one by the end of the year, but you could be looking at the top overall running back on the year the way he's playing. DeAndre Swift is playing out of his mind when he is healthy.
You take an injury risk with it, but the upside is
league winning. All right, anything you guys want to talk about for the Cowboys?
He's got Justin Jefferson and Chris Godwin as well. Yeah, pull the trigger. Yeah. If that guy, if the person in your league is silly enough to do that trade, do it.
And Caden, if you want to win a Miles Sanders card, stick around to the end of the show and we'll let you know you do that. Make sure to like and subscribe and join the Heckling fandom. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about with the Cowboys offense?
I picked the Cowboys to win.
I believe I have the Rams winning this game, but it's going to be close, I think.
I think people have figured out that if you just let Cooper Kupp do his thing and just cover everybody else, that the Rams aren't going to win.
They're one-dimensional at this point.
Yeah,
true.
They don't have a run game to speak of right now.
Akers playable this week?
Nope.
No.
I wouldn't trust either Akers or Henderson if you don't have to.
You playing Akers over Ezekiel Elliott?
No.
Okay. All right, Bengals and Ravens. I think this is a good game formula for the Bengals because the Ravens have a very quietly bad secondary. So let's talk about the running game instead. Ryan, will Joe Mixon be effective in this game? He seems to be getting the attempts, but are we going to see that with fantasy points this week?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like you said, the Ravens don't have a great secondary, so they could be inside the red zone quite a bit this game. So he could get those. I don't think it might not be super efficient carries, but he could definitely get some goal line stuff.
Ron, is J.K. Dobbins good to go? No setbacks?
Hell yeah.
All right. And boys, will Joe Burrow put up very good numbers against a bad Ravens secondary? Because I kind of feel like he could be a play of the week kind of player.
This will be his best fantasy game all year.
That's the feeling I'm getting to.
Going forward even. Except when he plays the Ravens again, of course.
So Tyler Boyd, I think, is a very good flex play this upcoming week. So if you're looking at some of those bad options that we've already mentioned on this episode, play them potentially in the flex if you have a player like Zeke down in your flex. I would rather play Tyler Boyd than Ezekiel Elliott this week.
And if you're hurting at tight end, like if you have Kyle Pitts and he misses, Hayden Hurst.
Decent option. Any other players you'd like to talk about in this game before we get to the last one?
Nope.
All right.
Everyone has the Ravens winning except Joe.
Yes, I do believe the Bengals will be able to air it out in this game. We have another question here from the Heckling fandom.
I kind of want to change that. I'm going to change. Going Bengals.
I like that, Ryan. Hayden Mayer asks, would you all trade CeeDee Lamb for Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Brandon Cooks? I don't think I would. Absolutely not, Hayden. I think you should hang on to CeeDee Lamb, and Dak's going to be back very soon.
Yeah. CEH has been very touchdown dependent. This last week he was better, but this last week they busted out that lead early. So Isaiah Pacheco is starting to get more and more carries. He scares me, so I would keep CeeDee.
Anthony Persia has another question for us. Help, I have Najee Harris and can get James Robinson. Well, that's good. I already have Miles Sanders, Damian Pierce, and Jeff Wilson, so good running backs. Rashad Penny, full PPR.
I don't think you have to do anything.
No,
well, I think he's wondering if he wants to trade Najee for James Robinson.
Yeah, no, Najee's got a bad schedule coming up the next 4 weeks. I would make that trade, actually. Yeah, no, Anthony, I would personally make that trade. Ron, what's your thoughts on this?
It's hard because if for some reason Kenny Pickett comes out and can enliven this Steelers offense, Najee could finish better than James Robinson. But if we're going by, what they've done so far, looking at the schedule going forward,
it's the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Eagles, and the Bills this week. That is an awful 4-week stretch. I would much rather have James Robinson than Najee during that stretch.
True, during that stretch, but you also got to look at end of the year stuff. He's already got good replacements with Miles Sanders and Jeff Wilson. Long term, do you think Najee will be better than James Robinson or vice versa?
No, I think James Robinson will have a better finish by the end of the year. So, you even look at the end of the schedule, it's not that great either. He's got the Ravens in there. Colts are stingy. Yeah, no, I would stay away from it. There's a few better matchups, but overall, I think that James Robinson has much better matchups going for the rest of the year. So I think James Robinson will finish over Najee. So I would make that trade if it was straight up.
I'm okay with the trade. I'm not sure if I'd actually do it, but I'm okay with it. I understand the trade.
All right. So, Ron, what will the Chiefs passing game look like going for against the Raiders?
Well, see, here's what it's going to look like. Patrick Mahomes going to drop back, and then he's going to throw the ball.
And who is it going to go to besides Kelsey?
Everybody. It's going to go to every single person on that team. Don't start any of them.
I really enjoy
Travis Kelsey.
I love asking you about the wide receivers of the Chiefs every single week because you're so passionately not going to start any of them.
Full fade on all of them. I don't want to play any of them.
All right, Ryan. Will the Raiders absolutely use Josh Jacobs to control the clock in this game, and what are his numbers going to look like?
I don't know if they'll be able to lean on the run a ton because as soon as the Chiefs get the ball, they're going to score, and then they're going to have to start playing catch up. I think he'll have all right numbers, but they're going to have to throw it.
All right, Hayden's got another comment here for us. This guy offered me Damian Pierce and Cooks for Lamb. Still no. Keep Lamb.
It's closer, though.
Much closer, but it's still a no for me.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Also to Ron, what is our thoughts on CEH? Is it going to be another big week?
Very touchdown dependent.
Ryan, how is Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to play?
Same as around, very touchdown dependent. I mean, if he doesn't get a goal line carry, it's going to be garbage. If he doesn't get in the end zone, there's going to be no value there.
You guys ready for a quick DFS lineup?
I will be.
One.
All right, I'll go over mine first so you guys have a chance to pull yours up. And Ron, you're muted or not talking. I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
I'm not muted.
Were you chewing gum then?
No.
Your
You were
mouth
just
was
talking.
moving and nothing was coming out.
Your thing's probably messed up. I said Ryan's been away from the show for too long. He doesn't remember that on Thursdays we do DFS lineups.
Apparently not.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. You're definitely muted.
I wasn't muted.
Hot
I didn't
bitch.
even touch the thing. I hate you all.
All right. My DFS lineup. Remember, $50,000 on DraftKings starts with Tom Brady. Very cheap at $6,000. He's going to absolutely murder the Atlanta Falcons. Typically does and does very well for fantasy. So $6,000 against the 23rd passing defense. Good value. Next, I have Nick Chubb going up against the Chargers, who I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I think Chubb will get into the end zone at least once. Next, I've got Damien Harris going up against the Detroit Lions. We have the 31st worst-ranked defense for rushing currently, so Damien Harris could have a good week. A.J. Brown potentially is a top 5 wide receiver, $7,500, so quite expensive there. Mike Williams is $7,100 in what I think will be a very high-scoring game. As I said, for the Chargers and the Cleveland Browns, I want to get players for that game into my lineups. So I had to go a little bit cheaper for my third wide receiver. I went with Khalil Shakir for the Buffalo Bills. He could potentially be playing in the slot. Should both of their slot wide receivers be out for this week, Crowder is already out. We will see about Isaiah McKenzie. So for the current moment, Khalil Shakir at $3,200 is in my lineup against the 27th ranked passing defense. Then I'm playing David Njoku, $3,800 against the Chargers. Again, as we've already said, good game script for high scoring, which could lead to Njoku potentially getting in the end zone. I've got James Robinson going up against the worst run defense currently in the first 4 weeks against the Texans at $6,300. Very good value. And then I am playing the Dallas Cowboys defense against the Rams at $2,500, which I think is a decent value. So, boys, what do you think of this lineup?
It's good. You're very even across the board.
I just realized I did a lineup, so that's cool.
All right, Ryan, let's hear that lineup.
Literally just did it.
No, I just pulled it up. I did one a couple days ago, I guess. Sweet.
Let's hear it.
So Tom Brady, Damian Pierce kind of went off last week, kind of taking over that job. We talked about him in the show. I went Jeff Wilson for San Fran, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Godwin, Chris Olave, David Njoku, got Dalvin Cook in my flats. Then he might be due for a monster game. And then I took the Cowboys defense because the Rams can't score touchdowns because they just keep dumping it off to Cooper Kupp.
It's weird. It's weird. That's all the players that we talked about on this show today.
Amazing.
It's almost like they were fresh in his mind when he was filling out his lineup just now.
If I did it right now, I'd admit to it. I wouldn't care.
All right. My lineup real quick. Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs went really pricey at the top. Chris Olave. Yeah, Chris Olave. Zay Jones. I might have to change that out if he doesn't play. I went double tight end for my tight end flex with Juwan Johnson, really cheap, and Irv Smith Jr. And then, as I've been doing most weeks, I completely punted the defense and went with the Arizona Cardinals because they were only $2,100.
And are going to get absolutely murdered by the Philadelphia Eagles. But who cares?
Because
you have high-end players at the top.
Right.
That top alone to be enough to.
Right. That was the thought.
All right, guys, if you like what you hear on Garbage Time Fantasy Football, make sure to like and subscribe to the show. And you can leave comments on our live shows, just like many people have tonight from the Heckling Fandom. Guys, if you're still on here, make sure to like and subscribe and spread the Heckling Fandom all around the world. You can also listen to us in audio formats on Apple, Spotify, Google, Pandora, Amazon, Iheartradio. Tune in, watch us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Leave us voice and hate mails. We love the voice and hate mails that come from Christian at www.garbagetimeff.com. It's on the right side of your screen. Click it, scream at your laptop or phone, and we will play it live on the show. And if you want to win an autographed Miles Sanders Gridiron card, make sure to like an episode, subscribe to the channel, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and comment, I am the Heckling Fandom, to be entered into the contest at the end of the fantasy season. Boys, is there anything you want to say to the Heckling Fandom before we get out of here?
Enjoy football.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot better than this shitty game. Have a good night, guys.